इट्स लाइक आपकी शादी में दूल्हा दुल्हन है ही नहीं और आप खाना परोस रहे हो। तो वो वाला एनालॉजी है कि जब तक आप लड़की लड़का तो ढूंढो, यू डोंट नीड अ काइंड ऑफ summit as such or a congregation of people to communicate your ideas.
A deep SWOT analysis. What do you see as the big strength, weakness, opportunity, threat for India, which this summit can help solve?
This is a very defining existential moment for Indian IT. Indian IT majors who took comfort in the cost arbitrage for decades now will have to focus really hard on innovating and differentiating their proposition.
Hello and welcome. You're watching me, Sanket Upadhyay, on the Federal. The show is called AI with Sanket. This is the AI of news, because news in India today requires not artificial but analytical intelligence. Now we know that AI, the original AI, artificial intelligence, is the key buzzword in the national capital, in the country as well. There is an AI summit which India is hosting. It invited a lot of reactions the world over. It invited some negative reactions also for its planning or the lack of it, the problems that people are facing. However, there is a larger idea behind hosting this AI conclave to represent different voices and different solutions on how the world will deal with artificial intelligence in this rapidly changing world. So far, summits like an AI summit were the preserve of the Western world, the rich, the influential, the powerful. And now, with India hosting the AI summit, this is being seen as an exercise by the leaders of the global south in holding control of the AI race. But how successful are we? As a country, where do we stand in artificial intelligence innovation? And can summits like these really help? Or will they be reduced into another big massive spectacle which does not necessarily give grand results? We put this to a discussion today by speaking to two people with divergent views, but both domain experts, and also bringing in their respective understanding on this subject. Let's discuss. All right, joining us right now is Mr. Shashi Shekhar Vempati, co-founder of Deep Tech for Bharat, also board member for Bharat Gen, ex-CEO of Prasar Bharati, ex-CEO of Rajya Sabha, ex-CEO of Niti Digital. Huge introduction for Mr. Vempati, but sir, the context here is the AI summit. And I just wanted to know from you, what do you think are, in a deep SWOT analysis, what do you see as the big strength, weakness, opportunity, threat for India, which this summit can help solve?
So if you look at what has been happening with the AI space, the evolution of models and the change of technology has been very rapid. In fact, almost exponential change that we've seen. And most of the global noise or buzz has largely been about what is happening in the US, what is happening in China. While the reality is that it is India which provides the largest talent pool for be it technologies like AI or semiconductors and so on. So I think it was very important for India to carve out its niche. And we saw this last year at the AI summit in Paris, when there was a deep divide between the United States on one end, which was completely advocating for innovation and almost a laissez-faire attitude from governments. And at the other extreme, you had Europe, which was extremely focused on safety and risks and so on. While it was PM Modi who charted a middle path, where he said that we need to balance both the safety concerns with innovation. And that was what led to the summit coming to India this year. So to me, the opportunity for India is one, make its voice heard in this landscape, especially with the sovereign models and the Indian models that are being developed. to showcase the large talent pool that we have, which puts us right there, both in terms of AI development and AI adoption. Third is, of course, a platform for our innovators to not only build solutions for India, but also, build solutions for the world, which is why you have this large delegation of global leaders who will be accompanying PM Modi tomorrow, day after, to look at, all of these innovations that are on display.
Mr. Shashi Shekhar, usually these big conclaves, there is often this criticism around them of becoming giant and expensive talk shops and not really getting much in return. So I just wanted to know from you, how would you respond to this criticism that this too does not become like a big spectacle with nothing much to show for?
Well, I think if you look at many of the Indian startups, AI startups, right, they have not had the opportunity to gather the attention, be it nationally or internationally. So this summit, with all its attraction, both from an audience domestically and audience from all over the world, I think gives a very great opportunity for footfalls and eyeballs to showcase our innovations, our products. So to me, irrespective of what the official proceedings are and what the official deliberations are, I think the much bigger value is what is being derived by our startups and our innovators, who for the first time have an international audience to come look at what they've built. And invariably, an event of this scale creates networking opportunities, which will go a long way, because you will connect with researchers from different parts of the world. You will connect with potential customers. So I think the networking value is a very intangible value, which will show long-term results. Of course, there is the official agenda as well, which I believe there is some consensus that is being evolved on a declaration of sorts around the kind of commitments that AI developers and AI application startups will make on ethics and transparency and so on. So I think that is something we need to await and see once the official proceedings happen on Thursday.
Now, Mr. Shashi Shekhar, you see, India is a giant consumer, and the common criticism often and almost always is that international giants, AI giants, only and only look at India for its giant consumer base, and they don't seek any other sort of a participation. I'm only talking about the criticism. So I want to know from you, how can we, rather than producing end user products using someone else's AI technology, build native AI technology which then is used for multiple use by other countries or by others? For instance, a Gemini is not Indian. For instance, a cloud AI is not Indian. So where is our solution?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And I think there are two aspects to this question. One is even those models, the Western models that you're speaking about, where we are largely viewed as a consumer. The reality is much of that development is also happening in India. If you look at Google DeepMind, for example, a lot of their development is actually happening by engineering teams sitting here in India. Recently, the minister had gone to Bangalore to launch a 2-nanometer chip, which is being taped out by Qualcomm. Again, if you see, most of that engineering talent is actually talent not just of Indian origin, but talent which is actually living and working out of India, right? So that is one aspect. Second is the bigger question that you are talking about: where are our models? I think that is where the India AI mission's efforts come in. Because if you look at the culture in India, corporate India has been extremely averse to investing in innovations. We have seen hardly any investment from any of the big Indian major tech majors to build, foundational technologies. And that is where the government stepped in with the India AI mission, where they shortlisted these, 12 model developers. And the big bets are, of course, Sarvam and Bharatjan. Sarvam, I think, is launching their model tomorrow, where they have a whole, a new set of parameters that they have looked at, 100 billion parameter model and so on. Today, Bharatjan had their presentation with the science minister and Mr. Chris Gopalakrishnan, founder of Infosys there, and they showcased their 17 billion parameter model with more than 12 languages. So you have these, Indian efforts that have come out of age, that are now ready for application development. In fact, that was the message coming out of the Bharatjan session today, saying that, bring your use cases, let us co-create. So I think that moment has now arrived, that we'll have more than one foundational model that we can call as completely sovereign and Indian.
Mr. Shashi Shekhar, you're right about the government giving it the requisite push. But you know that the joy in co-collaborating where private players take the lead. After all, Indian IT was always known as the backbone for global IT. And thanks to cloud AI, you saw what a bloodbath it created for Indian IT companies. It'll directly have an impact on jobs also. So, keeping all these things in mind, how do you ensure AI's use, effective use, Indian context, and also ensuring that it creates jobs rather than take away jobs?
So I think, in fact, this was the subject of our panel discussion yesterday on employability and how AI is impacting, entry-level jobs and so on. Clearly, Indian IT, this is a very defining existential moment for Indian IT. Indian IT majors who took comfort in the cost arbitrage for decades now will have to focus really hard on innovating and differentiating their proposition to the enterprise customers that they serve. With Claude, as you very well know, almost 85% of code generation is now happening through these AI tools like Claude. And what does that mean to Indian IT? I think is something that each of these Indian IT majors have to figure it out. There is one pathway, though, which is something that I alluded to yesterday in the panel as well. That as more and more software generation happens through AI, the cost of software development comes down. And what that means to enterprise IT is that you will see a proliferation of more and more enterprise applications, which means that complexity of enterprise IT goes up, and that will create the demand for more and more sophisticated roles. So what perhaps was just a software developer will now have to become an agent orchestrator, someone who understands the multitude of agents that have been developed, that have been deployed, how they co-work with each other, what are the complexities in that integration, and then managing its life cycle. So it's not that jobs will completely disappear. I think it is the nature of those jobs that is going to fundamentally change.
My final two questions, Mr. Shashi Shekhar. What would make you feel that this summit in India has been successful? What are the key points that if we achieve, we may call it successful? For instance, let me give you an example. In G20, we were able to pass a unanimous resolution. So that was seen as the big success of G20. What do you see as the marker for the key success of the AI summit in India?
Right. If you look at the direction that the Prime Minister has laid out for what he would like to see, from this summit and broader, evolution of AI, it is the democratization of AI access. So to me, I think the success criteria for this summit would be, some kind of multilateral effort to ensure that access to AI is not limited to few companies and few rich nations. But there is a global commons of sorts where through open source models, shared compute infrastructure, we are able to extend the benefits of AI, beyond the larger economies to the broader global south.
Sir, do you feel that Indian education, you see, India has been able to create revolution when we have started young, we have started at a scale. Sometimes, in our case of our economy, it's often said it's born out of a sort of a crisis where we make big changes and reforms. But for AI, do you feel that we are education ready to be future AI ready?
Absolutely. I think that is the most important question. In fact, a large part of our study, which we had conducted on employability, is focused on this aspect. So there were several key recommendations that emerged from it, which I'm hoping that the policymakers take a look at and incorporate it into the national education policy, because we can't afford another deeper divide. Just like the digital divide, the digital plus AI divide will be almost structural and almost impossible to bridge. So we need to take several measures right now, which includes reforming the curriculum, thinking about how an AI-enabled classroom, and by that I don't mean deployment of AI tools in the classroom, but an environment where students are heavily relying on AI. What is the role of the teacher? How do you engage with the student? How do you challenge them? How do you inculcate critical thinking and judgment and so on? So that is one aspect. Second is, of course, equipping the students with compute devices. I think that is going to be extremely important. It is not enough to provide cheap mobile data anymore. It is not enough to just provide access to smartphones anymore. I think every student who is going to chart their path to a professional career needs to be equipped with a laptop with certain minimum level of compute devices. I think that kind of capability building is something that we will absolutely have to do within the educational environment. And then lastly, of course, the culture within the universities and colleges, and with the teachers, because right now the mindset is largely of a policing mindset where you want to tell students what not to do. I think we need to change that culture. That was a far more complicated and a bigger challenge. It will take time, but that cultural shift, I think, is absolutely essential and long overdue.
My final question, Mr. Shashi Shekhar, do you feel that we are leading or following the AI revolution, considering the fact that it changes rapidly? The pace of change is faster than any other tech innovation that we have seen in the past. So do we still have the potential to lead?
Well, let's put it this way. I think without India, there will be no global AI, and that is evident from the comments made by the CEO of Anthropic just yesterday, saying India's scale is extremely important. What we are seeing now with AI models being developed in the West, that their ability to access a market which can provide hundreds of millions of users. It can only happen in India because you have both the numbers as well as an English savvy population and an open digital culture, right? So to that extent, I think the world has to look at India to build these use cases, to scale these use cases, and I think that is how we keep up with the technology, because it is not merely enough that you build technology in Silicon Valley and expect it to work in India. You have to respect Indian culture, Indian nuances, and India's demographic diversity. What we are seeing in certain other areas, related areas, is that the equation is flipping. Earlier, technology was being built in Silicon Valley and being brought to India. Now the use cases are being built in India, scaled in India, tested in India, and then being taken world over. So I think that is a phenomenon that we will increasingly see going forward.
Were you able to get lunch, Mr. Shashi Shekhar? Because yesterday there was a lot of complaints. Hall band kar diya, lunch nahi mila, pani nahi mila. You are at the summit. What is your experience?
Well, I left before lunch, so I can't answer much on that. But I'm sure, see, when you think of an event of this scale, there will be logistical challenges, without a doubt. But I think everyone is stepping up, everyone is contributing. I was told of a startup, a Pune-based AI startup, which offered free coffee all day to the policemen and the security personnel, who have been out there trying to manage the situation. So while there are, these stories of people facing hardship, I think the startups are taking it in spirit and they are doing their bit as well.
All right, joining us right now is Mr. Abhishek Asthana. He's a columnist for the Hindustan Times. He's very, very popularly known on social media as Gabbar Singh with 3 Bs. Thank you very much, Gabbar Singh, for joining us. Abhishek,
thank you. Thanks, Sanket.
I saw a very interesting take that you had on this AI summit. In your own quintessential, quippy way, funny way, you said that you can't build cloud AI or deep seek AI by serving paneer lababdar and other butter naan in the menu.
Yeah.
I just want to know from you, Abhishek, do you feel that this summit which India is hosting is a lot about headline management and the lack of it, the mismanagement? Do you think that has become the bigger headline than what we actually hope to achieve?
See, it is happening at Bharat Mandapam, right? I've been to Bharat Mandapam, and what comes out of Bharat Mandapam is usually PR, right? So that is the output of Bharat Mandapam usually. I've seen a lot of events being, hosted there. It's a necessity for the government as well. They want to, they are doing work. They want to get the word across as well, not just nationally, but internationally as well. But the thing is, with AI is a deeply, deeply tech problem or a tech innovation, basically. we are just spending 0.7% on our R&D, right? And if you're not increasing that amount and doing everything around it, it's like आपकी शादी में दूल्हा दुल्हन है ही नहीं और आप खाना परोस रहे हो. तो वो वाला एनालॉजी है कि जब तक आप लड़की लड़का तो ढूंढो, उसके बाद शादी करेंगे ना. पहले आपने टेंट वाले को पैसे दे दिए और टेंट वाले को बुला लिया, खाना लग गया, सब कुछ तैयार है, दूल्हा दुल्हन है ही नहीं. तो पॉइंट है, जब तक हमारा जो कोर इश्यूज है, कोर थिंग्स पे हम वर्क नहीं करेंगे. इमेजिन चाइना का डीप सीक डिडंट कम आउट ऑफ एआई समिट, राइट? डीप सीक केम आउट ऑफ, I mean, huge CCP support to that. I was reading a report as well where there is a genius program in China which takes out, like, every year they take out students from school and trains them and gets them to biggest colleges. And those guys don't even have to write entrance exams. And they are the ones who had developed DeepSeek. They are the ones who have created ByteDance, the TikTok parent. So the support needs there. The monies need to go there. I'm not saying don't do this and things can't happen in parallel, but you have to prioritize, I guess, right? And unless you spend money on R&D, and 0.7% is an abysmal amount of money that you spend, right? So I would say that such events, usually what happens is caters to, they know a particular way of event management. It happened in G20 as well. And you know what happened after G20 as well. That it is fine. It's good for photo op and everything. But it didn't materialize when we had Operation Sindoor and what happened with Trump with the trade deal still not signed yet. So it has, the utility is questionable. But yeah, I mean, you have to focus on the real issues first.
But you see, Abhishek, the thing is that you say that the core issue right here is to spend money on developing AI models or AI related solutions. Now, the government says that with their AI push, it is the government only which is spending that money in India. So you will start to see those benefits. In fact, in India, it's quite weird that not private players but the government is spending money for AI development. Do you feel this investment is less or more needs to be done?
The headline from the AI summit should be that we saw this model came out and the world starts noticing. The news should not come out that people were in queues trying to eat a samosa. The news, I haven't seen, and mostly the news is about who's attending. It's a typical Indian wedding, right? That doesn't matter who is getting married. What matters is who attended. ये नेताजी ने अटेंड किया, ये एमएलए आए थे हमारे शादी में. So that is the kind of news that is coming out. यहाँ Bill Gates, the debate right now is कि Bill Gates would attend or not. So people are convert नहीं करेंगे attend, वो Jansen Huang नहीं आ रहे हैं. So it's more about getting names and putting it out as headlines. कि देखो, we flexed our muscles so much that we got all these people in a room. Getting all the people in a room, it's fine. But see, in this world of fast internet, it's not difficult to network. If you have a great product, it will bubble out. It will bubble up and reach out to everyone. So even DeepSeek was not launched in a fanfare in San Francisco. It was launched in China. And because it was so good, it could beat GPT that time, that it suddenly became the talk of the town. So distribution and reaching out and networking are concepts of, let's say, 30 years ago, 20 years ago. With the advent of internet, where there is infinite distribution, there is immediately a piece of news travels abroad everywhere. So that's
Shashi Shekhar Vempati and Abhishek Asthana give their respective points of view. What do you feel about this AI summit? What do you feel needs to be done? And the manner in which this summit was conducted, would we be able to achieve our desired goals towards AI? That is more crucial. So that decision has to be made by you now that you are privy and you have heard the differing viewpoints. Thank you very much for watching this AI, which is called AI with Sanket. We'll see you again with another program.